in the essence of time, I do want to go ahead and get started, and if people filter in, they can as needed. My name is Amy Ward. I'm the Community Development Director for the Town of Mountain Village, and I'm going to keep it short. I really just want to thank the development team for coming here tonight to give an opportunity to present their project, talk a little bit about what to expect in the upcoming years as this critical project is being developed in the Mountain Village 4. We're really excited, obviously, as the town, that we got through all the entitlement process and that the project broke ground this fall. It's amazing. I love going over there and taking a look at what's happening on site and really seeing that 30-year vision come to life. And with that, I'm just going to turn it over to the Four Seasons team. We've got folks here from White's Construction, from Merrimack Fork Partners and Four Seasons. And I believe our first presenter is going to be Dale Reed, who has been kind of, the leading involved person on the development team for the last 8 years. Oh, you're here. I thought you were going to be up there. I haven't seen you anywhere except for on the street. Oh, I'm super embarrassed. So Dale is here, and Dale and I have, we've worked closely together for the last 5 years, really. I've been thankful to have him as a partner, and he's been a great partner in this project. I think with all development, we get to places where, we have differing opinions about what should happen and how it should happen. And in every instance of that, Dale, I've said, hey, Dale, I have these concerns. And he turns around and says, I understand. This is my perspective, and we work through it. And he's been a really amazing partner all the way through. And I promise you that, Dale and his team will continue to react to the community, to your concerns, to my concerns. Construction is difficult, and we can't take away the difficulties of all construction, but we can really, really try to listen to our community. At the end of the day, they want to be good partners to you, and so I'll let them take it from there. Thank you.
We finally, obviously, the last time I'm sitting here talking to folks in this forum has been when we were going through the entitlement process, a little different process to get through than today, where we're talking about, hey, broken ground. Let's talk about what that looks like and what the project is. I know when we were working on putting everything together and figuring out the logistics of how do we make this work, because building in Mountain Village is pretty complicated. We have learned. We wanted to find who are the partners that we would be able to work with to be able to construct this vision that everybody has shared for a long time, and for 30 years we've been trying to get to, and we finally did. And White Construction was one of the critical components to that. The general contractor on the job, I think you'll find that they are very easy to work with. They certainly understand the perspective of taking care of the community and interfacing with the community well, and trying to make certain that everything is safe and works well for them. And so we're very privileged for that. We also worked with, hired in an owner's rep who had done a lot of work already in Mountain Village. That's Spencer Levine in the RAL company. Where's Spencer? Oh, there he is. Laura's hiding you. And so we also have RAL here. RAL was part of the Madeline project before it was the Madeline. What was it called again? The Capella, that's right. And obviously they're very closely connected here. So for me, I wanted to be able to introduce you to some of the folks that we have on the team that you'll see running around. So let me start with a couple of with folks from sort of my development side. So you'll see over here this gentleman, Paul Joseph. Paul Joseph is our project executive for this project. Really an extraordinary find for us. We're very fortunate to have him on this job. And he has joined us, what, I want to say 3 weeks ago? Okay, poor guy's been drinking from a fire hose for all of that time, so he's doing his best. But he's really an amazing person. Very thrilled to have him on the team. And of course, Spencer, who I mentioned sort of in the preamble of all of this, who leads the owner's rep group. And then from White themselves, have Laura Ethorn here, who kind of runs runs whites as far as I'm concerned. You know, there's bosses she reports to, but as far as I'm concerned, she runs whites. Steve Kovac, who's been on a very critical component. Of course, you all know probably Jared and Rick, the two folks who are here locally, and you see them on a regular basis. And then we have Jen up here, who also is part of that local team that you're seeing interacting on a regular basis. So a big piece of this tonight is to kind of talk about construction and everything else. There's a couple of folks who aren't here who I'll mention that you'll see up on the boards. So Juan Robledo, who's sort of my right hand at Merrimack Ventures, very intimately involved on the project. A lot of stuff has kind of been handed to him, and so you'll see him probably more than me. And then Tom Evans, as most of you are aware, the development is a partnership between two companies. Merrimack Ventures is my company, and then Fort Partners. And so Tom Evans is one of the directors of construction for Fort Partners. You'll see him on a fairly regular basis as well. The individual members of Spencer's team, they have David Sorensen, he's here a lot, as well as Valerie, Kirsten, they are both highly skilled architects who are not the architects on the job, but rather the architects checking the work of the architects on the job. And then Thomas Cassiano and Russell Klein. And then I think that's it in terms of those folks. So I think we're going to move into some construction updating on what you see going on, what that look forward looks like, schedule, things like that. And I'm going to hand it over to Jared and Rick.
Hello, everyone. So as you've been envisioned of what's going on there on the project for the last 2 months as we broke ground there in late September, we have a lot of site utility work improvements that we got to get into the site, which also will allow us to do abandonments of existing utilities on the site. So in the photos that you kind of see up there in the upper left-hand corner is some of that utility work where the picture on that upper right is a bank of electrical conduits that we're working with SMPA to get new improvements into the site, plus that abandonment, like I said. And of course, the one on the left is just the trenching operation and the safety that we incorporate into that trench to allow workers access and do that work. Part of that utility work, and especially with that electrical work, is on the lower right, left-hand side. You see the excavator assembling a dry stack block wall. It's a ready block wall, and that's just literally building up a retaining wall so we can build grade up to the existing elevation of Mountain Village Boulevard to allow new transformers and switchgear that SMPA will install and get those utilities on site. And then the series of 4 pictures on the bottom and kind of to the right is the shoring operation, which is the drill rigs that you see going on actively up there on the site, where currently there's 3 drill rigs. 2 red ones, which essentially just go through and drill a 36-inch diameter hole into the overburdened soil until they get to the point of bedrock, where we reach competent material. And then we switch out now to the white rig, which the bit on that rig is a cluster drill. So it again is 36-inch in diameter, but internally within that 36-inch diameter is 7 8-inch diameter drills that are diamond carbide, and they're run by pneumatic operation, where it'll sit there and drill and hammer, just like your hammer drill at home, drilling in concrete, right? So that 36-inch bit is spinning, and those 7 internal ones are doing the same and hammering, and that allows us the penetration that we need to do into the bedrock. And right now we're into penetration into that bedrock about 20 feet in depth. So the total depth of these holes are right around 60 feet in depth. So it takes us quite a duration to drill a single hole. Right now we're getting about 1.5 holes a day by using the 3 rigs that we're doing. as a hole is completed, the third picture there, which is the yellow crane, it will sit there and hoist a steel beam, drop it into that hole, and then we'll cast concrete into that hole, setting that steel beam. And then later in time, at the far bottom right, you'll see we'll have an excavator that will dig that soil down, exposing those beams, and then we reinforce it with some wire mesh and some rebar, and then shoot shotcrete on that face of wall. And that develops the actual shoring wall, which supports all the upper grade above. And so this whole operation takes us about 75 to 90 days to complete. And as we complete that, that will now allow us to excavate all the way down to where our base elevation is to start foundations. And that depth is 60 feet. So that shoring wall that you see is only 5 feet in height right now. Eventually will be 60 feet in height. Okay?
How many holes?
86 holes total. Okay. I think the next slide. Wrong direction. Yeah. So the two photos here is every month and part of our documentation with the job, and of course, obviously to keep all of our partners apprised as to progress on the job, as we do a drone flight and photo that progress. So you see there on the left is a photo taken in October, followed with one that was in November. So before snow, after snow. So you probably can't see until a lot of that progress, but you know, as we do have 86 steel beams, we're about 60% of the way through that installation of those 86 beams. So we're making good progress, and we're looking forward to the turn of the year when we actually start that mass excavation that I know everybody's interested in. So,
all right, hey, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jared Hufflich. I'm the project executive for Flights, working with Rick and Jen and the rest of the team. Can everybody hear me tonight?
Jared, the folks on
Use
the
the
line
microphone.
won't be able to hear you unless you use the mic.
You got it. All right, so for those that couldn't hear that, Jared Hoflich, project executive with Whites. I thought I'd just go through, just at a high level, some of the milestones that you guys could expect, following up from what Rick talked about what's ongoing now. But mass excavation and the shoring process will proceed. Mass excavation up through August of next year. And so we're fully complete with that. We'll start the concrete structure in June, July of next year. Moving into then the exterior facade in January of 28. Interior finishes commencing in July of 28. And then generally completing the landscape, hardscapes, and buttoning things up towards the end of 28. So very high level, and you guys are welcome to ask questions about that as you have them, but that's a quick snapshot of some of the major milestones we have coming up.
So as you've also probably seen and witnessed is some of the involvement around the community that we are trying to get a lot of our staff members engaged in. So one of those is, along with our ownership group, we installed some decorative artwork on the plaza level, which also is in other locations around the perimeter of the project on the construction fencing. And with that artwork display, we also have a observation deck that we created to allow those people within the public, as they have curiosity about construction, where they can access that platform and get raised up in elevation and actually look above and beyond our construction fencing and above the parapet wall of the plaza, beyond all the plaza there, what have you, and just observe as to what a lot of the activity is going on the site there. Currently, that observation deck is not open to the public. I have a inspection with the town that I need to satisfy first. And once that's complete, which should be this week, we will get that to the public. Okay? White has also been participating in some of the community volunteer programs that we have, such as some of the events within the plaza, what have you, setting up for those events, what have you. So we're trying to get engaged there. I am meeting with a lot of our business operators there on the plaza area. So I'm trying to stay in communication with them and making sure that we keep their operations uninterrupted and with no impact, even though we're encroaching into what they've normally had, for their different activities on the exterior sides of those businesses, what have you. So staying in good communication with them. And at times, as part of construction interferes with the plaza area, what have you, we've set up different safety apparatuses such as an AD accessible ramp that we had set up there at the Westemere. So we were in communication with them and making sure that we, kept their access going, and of course with the town with the ADA accessibility. So that ramp currently has now been removed. It's no longer in process there, as we've completed the paver area that was completing that ADA access. So that's turned back over to them. And then just for curiosity, for what we're doing to monitor our construction processes, we do have different monitoring stations that we've set up around the site that monitors noise, dust, weather, vibration, things of that nature. We also have installed these same vibration devices on some of the neighboring properties, just to, settle out any type of concerns there. So we have one of our trade partners who manages that monitoring process and is constantly reviewing the data collected from those devices. So with that, any questions here? I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, the head gate, good one. Yeah. As part of the agreements that we had in place with the town as we procured a permit to build the Four Seasons project, is we had to do a improvement to the village pond there by installing a head gate so that the water level of the pond can be regulated a lot better than what the sandbag program was currently doing there. So that is done and complete. Any questions? Yes.
Kind of need to know what's happening on specific days of the month. Since I live in Mount Village, I'm not aware. Are they working on the weekends?
Yes.
Great, can you repeat the question, Mike?
Oh, are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the question was kind of our work hours of construction. Are we working during the weekends? So yes, per the town ordinance, construction hours are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So that is what we are currently working as our program.
6 p.m., 6 days a week.
Yes.
What about the Christmas holiday?
We do not work on the holidays per the town. So Christmas being one of those holidays, and then New Year's.
You'll work, Christmas is a Thursday, but you'll work Wednesday and you'll work Friday.
Yeah, currently our program would be is that we would celebrate the holiday on Thursday and Friday. Yeah, but we'll work Monday through Wednesday before Christmas, and then pick it right back up on the next following Monday.
So you Saturday.
Correct. Yeah, most of my crew, obviously, as they're travelers, will be traveling over with their families, and that's true of the New Year's break as well.
It's good to know what to expect. Thank you.
You bet. Anton.
Rick, first of all, thank you guys for this presentation. We appreciate it very much. And Jared, thank you for going over kind of the timeline. I think that's very important. I get questions all the time relative to the project. And so that I think is going to be very insightful for most people. I guess the question I have, and I asked this specifically for the constituents from TMVOA because I get this question all the time. I don't want to answer it for you, but you said basically you have activities going on through 2028. Is that basically, am I to assume that the launch or opening of the development would be in 2029 or 2028? And again, I asked this for my constituents.
Current target is October 28th. Other questions? Yeah, it's all up to them to make certain we hit that target. Schedule is very important to us. If you don't have any other questions, that's fine. We have a website where we post construction updates. I know it's been widely kind of marketed to everybody, so you can see sort of what's going on.
With your dump trucks and carrying soil, how often is that going to happen when you get into the excavation part of the process?
Kind of trying to answer all the questions related to that. So there's 120,000 cubic yards of dirt to haul off of the site. So when we do start that,
10 at a time.
10 cubic yards at a time in a truck. So our trade partner will probably have around 20 trucks within the cycle where currently they're running those trucks to Norwood. And so there will be a truck probably every 20 minutes as you see those going back and forth within the village.
Loaded and unloaded.
Correct. Each way.
And those are from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Correct.
That's 12,000 truckloads in the next 8 months.
Correct.
And where in Norwood is it going to be?
I do not know the answer to that. I have not visited the site myself. Okay. I guess with that then, oh, sure. Any questions within the room there on the phone? Who's joined us remotely?
Chat.
Almost like nothing on
I have another question.
Hey, Rick?
Are you, as the contractor developer, coordinating any sort of discussions with the future build of the gondola? Is there any preparation that you're doing with the Four Seasons as it relates to the gondola?
Development as opposed to sticks and bricks. So we have definitely been participating in those conversations as they've been going through the process of that design. And so we have, I guess, informed of implications or things that concerns that we might have as that process goes about. But that's really what our involvement has been, is just saying, hey, what if we, please don't drop the thing right in front of our windows, It's similar to what you all would say as well, right? All right. I appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so much. We will absolutely do our best to keep everybody informed as we go through this process. And again, we appreciate that it's going to be challenging, particularly when we're doing mass decks and everything else. We appreciate that. We really greatly appreciate your patience, and we will continue to look forward to working with you.
So I know that there is, on our website as well as the QR code that's at the site, it links you to the construction updates website. I know that's super unexciting right now because it's just drilling. But we do look at that every week, together as a team, the town, the development team, the construction team, et cetera, and revise it on a weekly basis. So as things get more exciting, I do encourage you guys to look at that website more often. We'll post, the road closure. Fortunately, that road closure is kind of in a small area of town, but you can look to there to anticipate things as the project gets more exciting. So, thank you. It's well, if you point your camera at the QR code that's on the plaza areas, it'll link you to that. But it's also on the Town of Mountain Village website under construction projects. So,
Are you doing a time lapse with that?
So we certainly have photos. I don't think we've published it. Yeah. So I mean, we have video and everything that's getting taken, and so my assumption is probably. Oh, I knew we were going to get you up.
Yeah. So just the drone photos that you saw. So we have a program where it runs the exact same path every single time they fly. You put it up and it's like set points. And so you can go back to the same point over time. And so I'm guessing through the course of this project, we'll get at least one, if not multiple different angles that show time lapse. And then we do typically get video with that as well. So you might get snips of that included. But yes, there will definitely be time lapse. I just don't know exactly when it will be interesting enough to put out.
End of the project, that'd be cool to see.
We can absolutely do it at the end of the project. So.
Thank you.
Have you found additional locations for your workers to be housed?
So we're still in that process, and so definitely not going to be able to talk about workforce housing at this point. But we will absolutely present it to you as soon as we have a real plan for that. All right, very good.
Just did a little math, and if you would enlighten me at the every 20 minutes one truck, that would mean 3 trucks an hour times 10 hours, that would be 30 trucks a day. That would take you like 150 months to do that. So it's got to be more to do the 120,000 square.
It will be, but I think the issue there is the number of trucks. But I'll let.
Yeah, the total duration for the off-haul is about 8 months.
Oh, yeah.